That was new. I don't think that's ever happened to me before, so I apologize if I seem confused. Hey, everybody. So that was new. This is my first time using StreamYard on this computer. I have a new computer, so I'm getting adjusted. Hi, everybody that's here. Keita, I know that threw me off, Keita. I've never had a countdown before. I don't know what I pushed that made that take place. But whatever, we'll go ahead and jump into it. Hello, everyone. I am Soleil. I am the founder and facilitator of the Charm School Mentorship Program. I am coven mother and godmother of the ladies in Vision of Dawn Tour. I am your reader for the week, and I'm here to do the weekly energy reading. I hope that everybody is doing well. Hey, Momo, I'm gonna call you. If I don't call you tonight, I'm gonna try to call you tonight. But if I don't call you tonight, I'm definitely gonna call you before the week is over because I miss your voice. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Sanidra. Hey, Lovana. Hey, Aja. Hello, everyone that is pouring into the room. I hope you guys are all doing really, really good. Yeah, we're going to get started in just a minute. Give me a second to burn my Apollo. If you are new here, I just want to quickly reintroduce the ground rules. This is a weekly energy reading. I have 3 to 4 spreads that I get through that benefit the collective. This is just so that we all have a head start on the week. I know the week already started. I'm a day late, but you know what? Life is life. So please let me get through all 4 readings before you ask your individual questions. I know that there are a couple of you who trickled in from certain groups. You know that I take questions from the audience. Please be patient. If you hear me going through the weekly forecast, wait until it's done. I always pause to take questions once I'm done and to give updates. But please don't jump in with your question while I'm doing the forecast. This is for 2 reasons. A, it's distracting. It's just distracting. It's distracting for me. But the other reason is that sometimes you all will ask questions, individual questions that have already been addressed in the forecast. So these are free readings. People do leave love offerings, but they're not a requirement. That's why my Cash App is scrolling below. But these are free readings. So please be kind, be patient, be gracious. If I've already answered a question in the collective reading, please don't take up my energy and labor, as well as the time and the opportunity from other people to get a question answered. Those are my only ground rules. And then also don't be rude. Y'all know what rude is. Like we're not gonna do the narc gaslighting thing where we mistreat people and act like we don't understand what mistreatment is. We don't do that in this space. So just be polite, be gracious, be patient. Just the basics. That's pretty much it. If you are a part of any groups that are interested in spirituality, tarot, collective energy readings, things of that nature, please feel free. Why is somebody calling me at this moment? Y'all gonna have to wait a minute. That's my baby. Hey, Pooh, what's going on? You good? Would you be okay with me calling you back in an hour? Okay, I'm live right now, so I'm gonna call you back when I'm done, okay? All right, I love you. That's my heart. That's my heartbeat right there. That's nephew. Can y'all believe he's in college? That's crazy. That is so crazy. But yeah, just be polite, be patient, and then when it's time for individual questions, we'll go through them. If you are a part of any groups where folks are interested in spirituality, please share this link. The more people in the room, the better, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with our general reading. Ancestors, what wisdom does the collective need at this time? What wisdom does the collective need at this time? About the week ahead of us, what do we need to know about the lessons, blessings, insights, challenges, breakthroughs that will come into our life that we will experience over the next 7 days? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Oh, thank you, Omamore. That's really sweet. My husband is watching with me. Oh, dope. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, let's see what comes up. Onward and upward, right? That's the energy of this week. I typically don't do this, but I'm gonna pull an extra row. We'll pull an extra row. Because I had a reading earlier, a little bit before I got on here. And I don't know if this happens to some of you guys that do readings, where sometimes when spirit's not done with the client, they'll keep reiterating the point. No, okay, this is a collective message. It's onward and upwards, guys. It's onwards and upwards. This is a year where many of us have been put in positions where people are playing mind games with us, where people are trying to talk us out of knowing who we are. And for some of us, it's worked. For some of us, we've had some of our biggest fears manifest as a result of the manipulation and mind games. But the energy of this reading is calling you to let that shit go, right? Let it go, because even with the mind games that were played, nobody won. Like, anybody that was trying to play in your face, they didn't win. The only reason why you are still caught up on it is because you feel hurt. There's a hurt, a frustration, and embarrassment that's causing you to hyperfixate on the immediate past. That does not serve you. It doesn't serve you for a variety of reasons. A, because whatever space was cleared by that person that is no longer in your life, it was cleared for a reason. And there are new connections, new support, new partnerships coming into your life, right? But the other thing is that you have too much shit to get done. There's too much planning required of you at this moment. So it's really important. King of Swords. King of Swords is somebody who is very deliberate. They have a deep sense of purpose. They know themselves, right? I'm gonna give you an example of a King of Swords. I don't know how many of you guys have heard the new Kendrick Lamar album. And in TV Off, he has a line where he says, people think they can try me since they've known me since I was a kid, but I'll cut my granny off if she don't see it how I see it, right? And I know I messed the line up, but I got close enough, right? That's King of Swords energy. You guys have heard me say King of Swords will cut off their own mama if their mama is playing in their face, if their mama is bringing unnecessary chaos that causes distraction and takes them off the path, right? So, and that's why King of Swords don't really have a whole lot of friends like that. Like, you have to have a strong intellect and good character to get close to a King of Swords, because they don't really play a whole lot of games, right? They don't suffer fools easily. And this is how you have to be, because once you can embrace that, you will be able to release and shake off this Four of Cups energy, this stagnated energy where you're hyper fixating on the cups that got spilled and asking yourself, how did this happen, right? This is wasteful. This is very, very wasteful. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of, I've been reading some books about trauma recovery, The Body Keeps Score, and a couple of other things. And when we get wrapped up in this cycle of hyperfixating on the immediate past and trying to figure out what we did and what eggshell we walked on that caused whatever, it starts to fuck with your cognition. It literally impacts your memory. And none of us who are watching this right now have time for that, because there's way too much that we have to do in order to take these initial steps to move forward into our future. There is a big journey ahead of us, and we need to move into it with our wits and with optimism. And hyperfixating on the past and allowing distractions to make you forget who you are is not going to support you in being able to do that. Yes, I got to remind them it's a 30-minute reading because they do I have stories about people who try to turn a 30-minute reading into a 2-hour counseling session? I know what that's like. But yeah, there's too much going on, right? And again, I want to go back to King of Swords. The thing about the King of Swords is that they are always planning. They are always thinking about the next move. And if that next move requires them to walk away from people or leave certain situations behind, they are okay with that because, again, intellect, the future, planning, right? This is what they're invested in. And you have to be invested in this as well, because the things that you are focusing on with this Four of Cups, they needed to spill. They needed to end. It needed to be a disruption because there's too much coming into your life in terms of people who want to pour into you, want to build on what you have, want to be in mutual exchange and partnership with you. And you have to be focused on that. You have to welcome that in, right? So, Knight of Pentacles, it's good, yes, to take inventory of whatever you've experienced as of recent, right? Taking inventory and being in observation and in self-reflection allows you to make sure that you cross your T's, that you dot your I's, that you make sure that your fences and your protections are in order. They are helpful for you in that regard. But the obsession and the self-blame and the fixation and the stagnation, that's not helpful for you. Really think about whether or not you are engaging in your life right now in a way that is strategic and helpful, right? Because if you continue to forget who you are, to forget what your purpose is, to not move in purpose, then you will set yourself up for perpetual victimhood. Five of Swords is a card of war strategy. And it's a card that comes up when they're letting you know, like, hey, the way that you're moving in war and battle is not helpful for you. You will continue to be taken advantage of if you don't stop and reevaluate your strategy. So this Five of Swords is speaking directly to that King of Swords. Don't fall to defeat, because falling to defeat is only going to put you in an energy where you replay things over and over again, where you are losing sleep and you are losing your peace. And what is the thing that we need more than anything right now? We need our peace. We need our mind. We need a clear head so that we can actually tend to all of the things that we have responsibility over. This is about you learning how to move forward when it is clear to you that even the things that you love, the people that you love, can't come with you into the next chapter, right? Page of Pentacles is apprenticeship. It's learning how to do. It's learning through experience and being grateful for the wisdom that comes with experience, right? So for some of you, this is not old hat. This is new territory. And that's part of the reason why with the Four of Cups, it's easy for you to blame yourself because you've never been through some shit like this before. But rather than feeling defeated, rather than letting this make you lose sleep, look at the great opportunity that you have to, take on some new wisdom and be grateful for it. Because you know what everybody likes? A grateful person. You know what everybody loves? Somebody who is self-aware and who moves with joy and who moves with gratitude. Leo energy, sun card, right? Be positive so that you can be open and aware to the blessings that are coming, because you are so busy being hyperfixated on what you've lost that you can't see all the big major gains that are right around the corner, right? And what's one thing that I always say about Leos, right? Leos can, for lack of better words, fail upwards because people believe in them so much, right? They have a magnetism and they have a self-knowledge and a self-awareness that reads as bravery to most people. So even when they have an experience that internally they are experiencing as a failure, right? Other people want to celebrate them and want to give them more opportunity, want to give them more leadership. So be on your sun card shit. Baby gets what baby wants, right? Baby wants big opportunity. Baby gets big opportunity. She may not be able to drag people along with her that weren't meant to come along. But that doesn't mean that the opportunity somehow gets less beautiful, right? So this is a week that is really about you getting to a point where you have a strong connection to yourself, to the energy of yourself, your internal spirit. You are rooted in your crown and you have deep awareness. And that deep awareness allows you to stand in not only your purpose and the things you are passionate about, but also your worthiness, right? And from that place, that's where you need to do your future planning. That's where you need to be thinking about what's next. Don't get wrapped up in the past. Don't get wrapped up in people's, desire to misread you or purposely misunderstand. That's their shit. And as long as it's their shit, they have to stay with that shit while you move forward onto something else. And you stand in the blessings that you deserve. Okay? That is the general reading. As a Leo, did I do good on my Leo description? Okay, well, if you receive it, then I'm gonna assume that I did good in describing. Okay. Okay, let's go into health and wellness next. Let's do health and I hope this candle doesn't burn out. See, that's what happens when you do everything last minute. I was last minute and then grab a new candle, and this one looks like it's wheezing a little bit. So hopefully, hopefully it has another hour in it. But let's look into health and wellness. What wisdom does the collective need about their health and wellness as we go into this next week? What are the habits we need to incorporate, release, or affirm that will allow us to have a balance of mind, body, and spirit? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. It works out that way. The more I study Leos, because my rising is Leo, and I didn't know my rising until probably like maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And the more I study Leo, it helps me understand a lot of the experiences that happen in my life. And that's a real thing. That is a real thing. People will ask you to show up and do things that you didn't even know that they knew you could do, or that you, it's natural that way. Your emotional health directly dictates your physical health. A lot of you guys are not getting out as much as you need to. A lot of you guys are not moving your body as much as you need to. A lot of you all are not spending as much time in nature as you need to. This isn't recent isolation. It's some of you guys who have been isolated for a while. And isolated is not the right word. I will say stagnant. Some of you guys have been very, very stagnant. Don't be surprised if you have a doctor's appointment scheduled this week that you get some bad health news. I'm gonna be really, really real with you, right? And it's gonna be news that is about the result of this stagnation and lack of physical movement on your body. It's going to feel like a tower moment. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna pull clarifiers over the tower just to make sure that nobody's having to deal with anything drastic. Clarify the tower. What wisdom do we need to have about the tower, ancestors? Love the card stock on this deck. I love a deck that has like really good thick card stock. Mostly because I'm a little rough with my decks. Tower and burnout over the tower. Yeah. You got some of you guys are burning the wick at both ends. Some of you guys are stressing about things that don't serve you, and that is causing a lot of the isolation, a lot of the depression, a lot of the lack of clarity with your emotions and mentality. And here's the thing. Again, our physical health and wellness is directly attached to our emotional health and wellness. A lot of people don't want to see it that way. I don't know why we're still having that argument and that fight in 2024. But if you are not taking care of your physical body, it is most likely because you're dealing with some sort of depression. You're dealing with some sort of emotional imbalance. So the King of Cups is coming as a cry and a plea for you to gain control over your emotions so that way you can take better care of yourself. You can, because self-care is an act of worthiness. It is an act of worthiness. And it sounds judgmental to say it that way, but it's not, right? And when you are deeply depressed, you are more likely to tell yourself, or not even tell yourself, just disconnect from yourself so that you don't recognize that you're not drinking enough water. You don't recognize that it's been 2-3 days and you haven't had a piece of fruit or a living thing to eat, right? That's not a dead animal. I mean, like, like foliage. Foliage may not be the right, but like produce, right? These are the things that go out the window when you allow your emotions to get so out of balance that you isolate, that you disconnect, that you don't engage, that you don't get feedback from other people, that you don't talk to other people, right? So this is a week where some of you guys are going to get some unfortunate news about the cost of having not taken better care of yourself, right? Here's the thing about judgment. Judgment is wisdom that gives us insight into the path moving forward. It's wisdom from spirit about how we should move forward or if we get to move forward, right? So even though the weight of this wisdom is going to feel very heavy to you, it is wisdom that is allowing you to have a new beginning, right? So I'm just going to pull something out of a hat. If you learn that you have, if you're learning that you're pre-diabetic, rather than falling to defeat and feeling like you're a failure, get the wisdom and the information you need so that you can have a change in mind and a change in habits so that you don't become full ass diabetic, right? That's the wisdom of the judgment. Yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's weighted. But if you move with it correctly, you can actually do some protection. You can actually prevent having bigger problems. Now, unfortunately, some of you guys can't avoid this tower moment. The information you get about the state of your health is going to feel very chaotic. There's nothing you can do about it. The dumpster fire, which is the tower, right? But again, similarly, going back to this judgment card, the thing we have to understand about the dumpster fire and the tower is that it feels chaotic temporarily. It's hurtful temporarily. The news is overwhelming temporarily. And then whatever gets destroyed, it at least clears the path for you to figure out what's next. And for a lot of you, this what's next is that y'all got to grow up and exercise some maturation. You can't burn the candle at both the wick at both ends like you did when you were younger. Your body is not bouncing back from burnout, from exhaustion, from overindulgence the way that it used to. And so take this wisdom, even though it's heavy wisdom, and do the things that you need to do to actually protect yourself so that you have good health, you have longevity. Okay? Yeah, these things could have been avoided. Yeah, that sucks. But beating yourself up about it and further feeding the depression is not going to help you. So what are the things in your life that are making you so depressed and so out of balance that you're not remembering to get your 45 minutes to an hour of exercise in every day, of physical movement every day? What is going on in your life that has you so distracted and treating yourself so badly that you're forgetting to drink water, that you're forgetting to eat healthy things, that you're forgetting to take your supplements, right? Rather than have a shame around the fact that these things are happening. King of Cups, get control of it, engage with it, so that way you can have a reinvigoration of your energy reserves, and you can actually start getting back into that process of moving your body and taking good care of yourself. Hi, Josette. Hi, Bertal. Hi, Ferdasi. Girl, Venus. Whenever I pull a clarifier and it's just the card again, I'm like, all right, well, dang, y'all don't gotta yell at me. I get the point. But yeah, tower over tower is crazy. Let's look at our money and then we'll wrap up with love. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, elevated ancestors. What do we need to know as a collective at this time about the role of money, wealth, and prosperity in our lives? What can we do over these next 7 days in order to keep and maintain a healthy flow of money in our life? What are the habits, ways of being, words and messages that we speak that we need to either incorporate, release, or affirm around our relationship with money over this next week? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Based on the two cards that fell out, some of us are in fields that are highly competitive. You may be in a position or having an experience where people who once supported you are now turning their knives on you. Don't internalize that. It's only happening because these people see you as competition. The whys around it don't matter. It don't matter. Doesn't matter if they've always seen you as competition or if they're using current events to come after you. None of it matters. What matters is that you stand your ground and that you remember that these energies only impact you if you engage with them. If you're doing what you need to do, if you have your protections in order, don't even trip. It will only bother you if you turn around and acknowledge it and bring yourself down to size to engage with it. Remember, the Seven of Wands is an energy where we float above the people that want to take us down. They're at our feet, right? And so imagine how low a person has to be if they're attacking your feet. The other thing that's coming up is that you can't allow yourself to get wrapped up in that because you have too much community that shares like mind with you and wants to see you win anyway. And as long as you can stay focused on having that, you'll always be okay. Everything will always work out for you. Right? So again, two cards that fell out. Seven of Wands, Three of Pentacles. Seven of Wands. Stand your ground. Only fight the battles that are worthy and necessary. And then ignore the other ones because the other ones are only distraction. Right? Seven of Wands is the energy that comes up when it only comes up when you are elevating. And the reason why it only comes up is because people love you when you are stagnant and when they don't see you excelling them or going in a direction where you can't take them with you, right? That's why I call Seven of Wands a card of the secret haters. So it only, again, you're elevating, you're going up. So as long as you can acknowledge that these people are at your feet and you don't bring yourself down, you don't lower yourself down to go down off of where you are to fight with them, you'll be straight. You'll be fine, especially considering the fact that Three of Pentacles, there is a whole team around you, a whole community around you that wants to build with you, wants to pour into you. You're already working with and have the attention and the love and support of these people. So be more focused on that than anything this week. Because any petty, it's like the schoolyard bully that's trying to make you have a blow up so that everybody focuses on you and thinks you're crazy, right? You don't have time for that because of the amount of people in this Three of Pentacles that have shit to get done and they want you to be a part of it. So stay focused on that this week. Let's see what the actual spread. Yeah, King of Wands, King of Wands. Rest. This is a message that's been coming up in a lot of the forecast readings as well. A part of learning how to be a boss is understanding that you're not supposed to be working all the goddamn time, right? Sorry, I've been talking all day. You're not supposed to be working all the time. And so certain seasons of your life, it's low key okay for you to rest on your laurels. We don't do it all the time, but when it's a time for rest, yes, it's appropriate to rest on your laurels. King of Wands, charisma, good reputation, good standing, the businessman, the politician, the actor, somebody who is deeply charming and who has done a lot of work to have good favor within community, within their public persona, right? Some of y'all don't understand that this is you. You don't understand how much people deeply believe in you and trust you. And because you don't have that understanding of yourself as a King of Wands, as somebody who people really fuck with and who trust and they know you're going to get your shit done, right? You feel like you got to move and do stuff all the time. And that's not the case. You are actually at a point where it is imperative that you rest. It is imperative that you be still. Four of Swords, rest in preparation for the next battle ahead, right? Knowing what the seasons are in your life. And right now, for a lot of you guys who are watching this is a season of rest. Not just rest, but rejuvenation, right? No warrior is meant to fight all day, every day, all the time. We are not machines. And after a big battle, after a big lesson, after a big transition, you need a period of rest so that you can recover and be ready for what's next. This is a big lesson for a lot of us, right? This is the death card moment. Getting to a place in your finances where you understand that you don't have to work yourself to the bone all the time. This is healing. This is financial trauma recovery that leads to transformation in terms of how a lot of us move professionally, right? So this is the death card moment around this. Understanding that we are not meant to work all the goddamn time, and that sometimes overworking yourself and finding things to be worked up about and finding fires to start, finding things so that you can have an emergency to take care of, that drains you. And that steals your energy reserves and fucks up your, I'm trying to cuss less, messes with your ability to take on the next assignment in your life, to take on the next battle or the next chapter with a clear head, heart, mind, and in rest, right? Again, King of Wands, I bought up the King of Wands for a reason. Again, this is twofold. With this being under this Six of Pentacles being under the King of Wands, again, business is really going to pick up for you because of the amount of people that trust you and because of the good reputation that you have for yourself. Opportunities are going to pick up for you. So whether you are in business for yourself, this is going to be a season where people are really, really pouring into you. If you are working for someone else or you have a position within an organization, again, people trust you and they're going to continue to bring projects to you because of that trust. And from that trust, you will be heavily rewarded and taken care of, right? So this is not only about the equity of the charity that you've put in to situations and to things. This is about people, you allowing people to pour charity into you as well, right? Go ahead and accept whatever blessings come to you right now. And people trust that when it's right and when you are ready, you will pick up and work again. You will get back to things again. Nobody's rushing you. Another message around this is that this is a lesson that you need to learn so that you can then pour this lesson back into the other people around you, right? Again, this businessman in the Six of Pentacles is charitable because in the past, someone was charitable to him and he was able to use that charity to become a businessman, to become a merchant, right? So you have to learn this lesson because it's a part of your responsibility to then turn around and pour this lesson into somebody else in your life that you love and that you see is overworking themselves and you see that is having a hard time. Take that elevation, move into, again, death card, move into that next chapter, have that transformation because they're stuck on, I gotta work all the time, right? And what happens when we're working all the time? What happens when we exhaust ourselves through labor, unnecessary labor? It fucks with our vision. And it's hard for us to engage in the daydreaming and the imagination and the creation that we need to be in order to even plan what we want for ourselves in terms of career, in terms of prosperity, in terms of abundance, right? So some of you guys have to understand that this is costing you. The busybody energy is costing you. The overwork and the overexertion is costing you. And this kind of busyness, this is never meant to be an energy that is all the time. That Eight of Wands, like, I got to be on it, I got to hustle, I got to be ready for the next opportunity to come, it's not sustainable. It's an energy that we tap into at certain parts of our life, right? Certain parts of our journey. But again, if you are in business for yourself, you know there are certain seasons where you can expect to be busy and you need to be prepared to be busy. And then there are certain seasons where you need to be still and you need to be watching the market, right? And some of you guys think that in order to be a successful business person, you got to do this all the time. That's not true. It will actually cause a burnout that will lead to you not being able to take advantage of your opportunities. But I want to go back to those cards that fell out while I was shuffling. The only reason why you think you got to work all the time is because you are in a competitive field, or there are people around you that are trying to be competitive with you. So what do I always say when people try to force us into unnecessary competition? Duck out. Mind your business. Mind your business. And your business is to focus on these people that are in alignment with you, as opposed to getting distracted by shit that you actually don't even really care about, which is other people's projections and insecurities. Okay? So to summarize the money reading, you guys have been working hard for a really long time. You've gained a great reputation and a lot of public favor because of that hard work. Part of the benefit of that public favor is not meant to work you to the bone to the point of exhaustion. It's meant to put you in a position for when you need rest, you can rest, knowing that you will still be financially taken care of. So whatever thing is going on in your mind that's messing up with you in terms of financial abundance, right? There may be some heart chakra work actually, because money is more connected to the heart chakra than anything. Figure out what's going on in terms of that lack of self-trust that makes you feel like if I'm not moving, if I'm not performing, if I'm not always giving, if I'm not being self-sacrificial, I won't be successful. Because not only will that be a deterrent to your success, it will make you sick, okay? So that is the money reading for the week. Let's go ahead and do this love reading, and then I'll go ahead and pause to take questions from the audience. Yes, stop BSing and apply for that position. We've already determined that that's your job. So go ahead and apply for that position, okay? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, and elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need at this time about love and romance, matters of the heart? What lessons, blessings, insights, challenges, obstacles, or breakthroughs will we encounter in our intimate relationships? Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves and our environments to have the experience of love? All love, romantic, familial, platonic, friendship. What do we need to know about ourselves and our environment to have the experiences of love we want to have this week? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I was supposed to go live on IG. See, memory has been trashed recently. Mm. We need to be considerate of how either our lack of self-discipline or our hyperfixation on self-discipline can cause us to have a lack of awareness of how we speak to and treat the people we claim to love. Um, some of us are doing this on purpose. We are abusing our position in people's lives to manipulate and play mind games, purposely engage in acts of betrayal. If that is you, shame on you, and you know better, and you know that your ancestors are going to bring consequences to you for that. Whether you are wrapped up in your I'm sorry. Whether you are wrapped up in your ego and you don't believe that is true for you or not is one thing. But some of you guys are creating damage in your most intimate relationships because of power hungriness, the Hierophant, right? I don't make this up. Hierophant. Hierophant is the card of spiritual tradition and routines, but it is also the card of the tyrant. It is also the card of the cult leader. It is the card of the, like what am I trying to say? Like the abusive, like, I don't want to say social justice warrior, right? But these examples in history of people that are like activists that misuse their public influence. That is an inversion or a debilitation of Hierophant energy, right? And so I'm getting both things from the card. It's like Spirit is challenging us to ask ourselves, are we showing up as the disciplined healer, or are we showing up as the tyrant in the lives of the people we claim to love? Because if we're doing the latter, if we could really use this week to have a new beginning and to have some sort of transformation and allow ourselves to have new insights around how we're moving, we can save ourselves from some pretty big karma. But if we aren't doing that, and we are people that are getting off on manipulating, misrepresenting, and gaslighting the people that we love, you may get your jollies and you'll feel good in that moment, but the consequences that come of it later aren't worth it. Because here's the thing, the meek shall inherit the earth, right? The Lord takes care of babies and fools. And so you're out here doing these things to manipulate somebody and paint them as foolish. And all that's happening is that your evil intentions, your mean intentions are being transmuted into blessings for that person, right? So you may not want to call it karma, but spiritual law does exist. And whatever temporary gain you get from thief and manipulation by mistreating somebody, it may be painful to them in that moment, but you also aren't aware of the protections that most people have around them. So you're doing this, you're exhausting this person, but you're mostly exhausting yourself and building up some pretty nasty things in terms of, man, a good reversal working will like it'll really expose some shit with people, right? So just be careful out here. Why is this coming up in a love reading? Unfortunate reality, some of y'all, some of us, some of the collective are in relationships that started off really hot and fiery, but were not based in love, right? For those of you who this has to do with physical romance or intimate relationships, those relationships that started off about the body, about passion, about getting some dick, are now fizzling out, and you're seeing the gaslighter, the manipulator, the narc, the abuser in the person. You will be safe in the end, but there's still damage that comes with that, right? For those of you guys who this is a spiritual or a business situation, right? There was something about the ego that made this connection burn really, really hot, but burn out really fast as well. And that's another part of the reason why this conversation around your protection is coming up. because the anger that a Knight of Wands has when they don't get their way, think about an Aries that doesn't get their way. Have you ever seen an Aries throw a tantrum when they don't get their way? That shit's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to witness, right? So I hate this for us, but the reality of the love reading this week is that those of you guys who are in relationships, whether they are intimate partner relationships, whether they were business arrangements, whether they were community ties, fictive kin, fictive community, or fictive family, right? The knight in shining armor is now turning into a tyrant. And there's a lot of mind games and hurtful things happening. Their responsibility, which we have no control over, is to recognize that whatever feels good to them in the moment with this hurt and manipulation is not worth the damage that they are doing to themselves in terms of reputation, karma, bigger impacts. Our responsibility is to just get the fuck away from that shit. Real talk. Our responsibility is to stop celebrating our resilience and stop thinking that taking the punches and the hits in the throat over and over again is a sign that we are strong. And our responsibility is to put our protections in order and get the fuck away from the shit. It's that simple. It's that simple. Damn, I thought the love reading was gonna be like, you're gonna meet your bae at the farmer's market, right? Because I'm always looking for bae at farmer's market. I ain't found them yet. I did not expect this from the love reading, but heed the advice. Heed the advice. And then hopefully next week's love reading is a little bit more gentle or optimistic, but the message is the message. Anyway, that is the weekly forecast. I am now at a place where I can take questions from the audience. If you have a question, go ahead and, hey, Berserker Magica, go ahead and put your question in the comments. As you guys are typing out your questions, I'm gonna go ahead and give updates. I'm gonna be real with you. It's December and I'm excited about Christmas, so there's not a whole lot going on right now. The main two things that I encourage you to keep your eyes out for: one, I am still doing weekly forecast readings. Those are readings that will only be available until the first week of February. So book your forecast reading as soon as you feel comfortable, as soon as you feel like you're in a position to do so, because I promise you, 2 months go by really, really fast, and then you'll look up and they're not available anymore, right? So if you want to get a handle on the year, if you want to gain insights based off of your astrological chart, as well as the wisdom of the tarot that help you understand what's ahead of you in the year to come, book your forecast reading. There are two versions: one that comes with a natal chart and 3 tarot spreads, and then one that is just 4 tarot spreads by itself. Just book it. It's a great reading. People really enjoy it. Honestly, it's one of my favorite. That's why I love this time of year. It's one of my favorite services to offer. So book that if you can. The other thing that is going on, I will have a Patreon finally. I know I keep talking about it, but my goal is to have it launched the week before Christmas, so that people can join, and then you'll have from Christmas until New Year's to join at discount. And then after that, the prices are going to be a little different. There will be only Patreon exclusive classes. I will have earth, wind, water, or earth, air, water, and what's the other thing? All the zodiac shits, right? All the earth sign, all that. So there will be a tier for all of that where you get twice monthly readings based off of your zodiac sign position. It'll be lit. It's going to be fun. And part of the reason why it has taken me so long to launch is that some of y'all know I did have a Patreon like 3 years ago, and I was terrible at maintaining it, right? So I didn't want to just relaunch something that was similar to what I did. I wanted to make sure that the tiers were things that I can actually stay engaged in and that fit seamlessly into what it is I'm already doing. So keep your eyes out for the Patreon. Until then, again, soleilconjureshop.com. If link is in the description. If you want to book a forecast reading with me, if you want to book an ancestral life path reading with me, if you want to book a general reading with me, or if you want to check out any of my classes or purchase a custom-made amulet from me. Okay? Oma Maware says that the yearly forecasts are so helpful. Thank you. I love doing them. I don't know if I ever told y'all this, but I do one for myself every year. So I sit down and I create a synopsis for myself. They've been really helpful with me in a lot of areas of life when I pay attention to them. Because sometimes there are areas where I don't want to deal with it. And then, you know what? Spirit beats my ass about it. Y'all know how it is, right? Also, shout out to y'all who are real with me. Because I had somebody say something so real last week when they booked with me for their forecast. They were like, you know, Mambo, I went back and I watched my forecast from last year and I didn't do shit that you told me to do. And I felt it. And I was like, yeah, you know, thank you for being honest. So now I at least know what the conversation is going to be like when I finally talk to them at the end of this week. Hi, Zena. Good to see you. All right. So we do have, I done dropped a card from this deck. That's fine. I need to break in my Millennial Tarot anyway. So I'll use the Millennial Tarot to answer questions from the audience. Let me see. I need to scroll back up. Be patient with me, all. This is a new computer and it's been giving me a little bit of grief lately. There we go. Okay, Dulcinea wants to know if they should keep trying to establish a romantic connection or if they should drop with this particular person. Ancestors, angels, city masters, spirits, walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What wisdom does Dulcinea need Chris at this time? Should she continue to explore this connection or should she release it? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You got to take a chance on somebody else, baby. So I'm using the Millennial Tarot. And before I even show you the cards, just please know that the descriptions that they give in each card are shady as fuck, okay? But we have the Moon card. Chris is a ghoster. He's going to continue to play mind games with you. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that he has a lot of insecurities and just a lot of challenges that he has to deal with internally. And instead of being a person that engages with people while he's figuring things out, he runs away. And that's not what you need. It doesn't feel good to you. You need separation and time away from him so that you can get clear about what it is you want. So the Ace of Swords talks about, you know, realistically, some of the things that led you to be attracted to him are not even helpful for you. So now's the time for you to really think about what is helpful for you, what you want, what's going to get you to the future, romantic future that you want to have. And then once you can do that, you can start taking the according risks. You can start making yourself available and vulnerable to faded moments and opportunity that will get you closer to the kind of love that you want. But no, leave him alone. Go ahead and leave him alone. All righty. Let's see. Can you ask if my rebrand is in alignment? I got you, Kita. Ancestors, angels, city masters, spirits, walk with me, my elevated ancestors. Is Kita's rebranding in alignment with what is best for her, her image, and her business? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I got you, Zena. Mind games are rampant this year, unfortunately. And that's all I'm going to say. all I'm going to say because I like my peace. There needs to be a little bit of revision with your rebranding. I'll just say it this way. Your current rebranding is coming off a little immature. So with the Queen of Swords, there needs to be some work and some thought into making it look a little bit more independent, a little bit more mature, a little bit more capable, right? I think there's a part of you that thinks you'll leave behind your core demographic, but that's not true. The clientele that you already have or the audience that you already have is so invested in you and wants to see you win so much that a further refinement or a change will not result in them leaving you. If anything, they'll just support it a little bit more deeply. But the death card is coming along to talk about a need for transformation, right? So there needs to be a little bit more refinement, specifically in terms of the maturity or the representation of maturity around your rebranding. And then once you can do that, it'll be much more in alignment with the kind of results that it is you want. That's what I'm seeing. I hope that that was helpful for you. All right. And Nicole, I think you already scheduled. I feel like a Nicole booked with me. And I believe you are that Nicole. If not, then let me know if you want to schedule for this year. Josette wants to know if they should cut ties with their friend. I'll do Josette, I'll do Zena, and then if there's someone else, I'll do one more. Here for the Patreon. Yes, that should be up by next week. So hopefully by Sunday, I'll come back and I'll actually have a link and something to share with you guys. Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirit. So you should Josette cut things with her best friend? If so, why? If not, why not? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You are very welcome. I got you, Berserker Magica. We'll do Xena after this, and then we'll finish up with Berserker Magica, and then I'll let you guys go ahead and have your Monday night. Thank you for joining me tonight, even though I was a day late. Some of you guys know that I had some computer issues, and I was without a computer for 2 weeks. So then when I finally got it back, I was so backed up with appointments that I'm just now getting to a point where my schedule feels manageable again. But yesterday I had four scheduled appointments and then a last minute booking. So 5 appointments on a Sunday, which is unheard of for me. I'm typically kind of territorial about the Sunday appointments I take. It's not uncommon for me to do 5-6 readings in a day, but on a Sunday is not. I was too tired yesterday. There was no way you guys were going to get my best. Let's see. I think you guys need to leave each other alone for a while. I think you guys need to leave each other alone for a while so that you can understand the value of one another in each other's lives and learn to have some gratitude around one another. So Emperor, the patriarchy, you guys are both bullying each other in ways that you were not fully aware of. I think that you guys have had a friendship that was a really long time, and you guys have matured in ways that made you guys a little different. And instead of understanding that you guys have different understandings of maturity, of discipline, of these things, it's making you guys hostile towards one another. Okay? So the Moon card, y'all need time away from one another so that you can engage in self-reflection and have understanding of why you guys are triggering one another in this moment. Why, instead of trusting each other, there are these projections happening in the friendship, in the relationship, okay? I don't feel like you guys are not going to be friends ever again in life, but you just need space because we have this Knight of Cups. And that's why I say that you guys need to be away from each other to miss each other. I think that once you guys have time away from each other and you can stew in your anger in a healthy way to release it, and then have the self-awareness of your own role in the situation or the difficulty. It'll make you have a deeper appreciation for one another. Sometimes when people start bickering and falling out like that, it's because they're up under each other too much. And sometimes it can be difficult to get away from one another. A lot of people have this fucked up anxious attachment style where they feel like space away from somebody is a threat. And that's not true. People can't really understand how they're showing up or what's itching them about a situation unless they have space away from each other. So I think that what Spirit is saying to me through these cards is that y'all definitely need to leave each other the fuck alone for a little bit. And trust that in leaving each other alone and giving each other space, that you guys will come back together in friendship, right? Because the Knight of Cups loves people. And when they love somebody, they really want to pour into them. But sometimes that hyper pouring into, it can feel like pressure. It can feel like you're not being given space. So just give each other space. I feel like we both were growing and not understanding the growth we've come into. Absolutely. And that the card said that too. So give one another space. I don't think y'all have to throw each other away. I think the only way that it can get to a point where you end up throwing each other away is if you guys both have anxious attachment styles, or if even one of you has an anxious attachment style and you don't respect the space, I don't want to say anything specific. Give each other space and respect the space, because not respecting the space can only lead to hyperfixation that'll lead to you guys having an actual fallout. And I'll just leave it there, okay? I hope that was helpful, Josette. Let's see. Zena wants to know if downsizing is the best decision. I got you. And then we'll wrap up with Berserker Magica, and then everybody will just have a great week. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, validated ancestors. What wisdom does Zena need at this time about her living situation? Should she be downsizing? If so, what does that look like for her? What will help her navigate the increase to her rent and cost of living? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Sorry, I went with a longer nail length this week, and I'm having trouble with shuffling cards, so just bear with me. Yeah, baby, you need to go ahead and think about downsizing. And downsizing may not even necessarily just be you switching apartments. There's some overspending that you tend to do, right? Seven of Swords, self-deception. So you really got to sit with your budget. If you don't have if I just said sit with your budget and you thought I don't have a budget, that's part of the problem, right? So yes, your money is not going as far as you would like it to, but a lot of it has to do with like habits and how it is you're approaching your money. So the Seven of Swords is coming up, because Seven of Swords is known as a thief card. So it can be self-deception. It can be, self-deception. It can just not being like honest about a situation. So you got to sit down and be honest with you about your finances. That will allow you to move differently, go down a different path, make different decisions with your money so that you can get different results, right? because you are right now in a period where money was not flowing as easily as it once was, but you're still spending like the money was coming to you like it once was. So until you can get through this period of furlough, until you can get through this little period of the trickle, because money's not flowing, it's trickling right now, right? Until you can get through this, you got to re-engage with how it is you spend. So I am seeing that you do need to downsize, but in terms of just lifestyle in general. And understand that it's a temporary downsize, because that's the thing about furlough. It's not meant to be forever. It's uncomfortable as fuck, but it's not meant to be forever, right? And Berserker Magica wants to know, moving in a few weeks and I'm experiencing complications. What do I need to know? Call in to resolve these issues. You're very welcome, Zena. Again, these readings are free, but if you have enjoyed yourself and you want to leave a love offering, my Cash App as well as my PayPal are scrolling below. Again, love offerings are not a necessity. I would much rather you spend it on like a full reading, because I know that there are some of you guys that want to book with me. You're just hesitant, right? But however you show your appreciation. Another way you can show that if you don't have any money, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just here about money all the time. I love money, but I don't want to make it seem like it's just about that. Like my channel, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. If you know people that like to watch readings, if you know people that are into spiritual information, because I am going to start doing my public lecture again, then have them follow this channel so that way they can watch the free lectures, watch the readings, etc. Every time somebody subscribes to the channel, that really, really helps me. Yes, sisters, angels, the master spirits are walking with me. Berserker Magica is moving. And there are these blockages and disruptions that are coming up. What do they need to know about why these disruptions are coming up? And what can they do to bring ease and peace to the situation? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Clarify the Sun card. What do we need to know about the Sun card? Is this a move out of pressure, or was this a planned move? Because a lot is coming up about you not exercising gratitude around this. This should actually be going really well for you. Yeah, a huge part, you need to start making a part of your prayers daily an expression of gratitude for this opportunity to move. There's a resentment that you're bringing into this move energetically, and it's having a negative impact on what should be going smoothly. We can do this sometimes when we have an energy that's competing with the actual circumstances of a thing. We can call in complications when we aren't acknowledging that we're not ready for a thing, or there's an unresolved resentment there. We have the Sun card clarified by the Three of Swords and the Hermit, right? So again, this should be a positive, smooth, like great thing for you with the Sun card, but there's some hidden thoughts with the Hermit that you haven't fully processed or acknowledged. And a lot of them have to do with a shame or a heartbreak, some sort of anger or frustration that you should be learning and moving forward from, but it's actually clouding the energy of what's going on. We also have the Nine of Wands. So this move is probably one that's coming prematurely. You're probably also just not ready for it. It could be really, really rushed, and that could be a part of it. Nine of Wands is also a card of protection, right? So re-engage with your protection working. Make sure that you're not welcoming in something that's not good for you. If you've already gone to the place that you're moving at, go there and bury a little something on the ground, so that way you are bringing protection with you to that spot. But there is a worn out energy and an exhaustion that's outside of you related to this. But the main thing is that you need to start talking about this as the blessed opportunity that it is, so that you can shift the energy around it. Because yeah, you just need to shift the energy around it. You need to see it as the blessing that it is. And if you can see it as the blessing that it is, not only will it change your relationship to it, but you'll start to see things move a little smoother for you. I hold a lot of fear around it. Thank you for pointing me towards that. Yeah, yeah. That fear can be, I think energetically it started to pick up as like a resentment, an unresolved resentment towards it. And I think that that's causing things to go wrong when this should actually be a really easy process for you. So I hope that changes. You know how to find me. Just message me. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. All right. Y'all have a great night. Love you all. I know I promised to return and do celebrity readings, but things got weird again in pop culture, and I don't feel like being triggered. And I don't, it's just energetically not something that I'm open to. So give me a little bit of time. I do want to get at least one charm school lecture out before the week of Christmas going into, I was about to say Christmas going into Thanksgiving, Lord. Christmas going into New Year's rolls around. So just be patient with me as I come up with a topic. And I will try to do a live that is not specifically reading based. But until then, you guys know that I will be here on Sunday of next week. So if you don't see me before then, I'll see y'all Sunday. And I want y'all to take really good care of yourselves, okay? All right, bye. Good night, everyone.